Hello and welcome to the Incredible Hulk podcast. And today we are talking about a season 3 story called Homecoming, written by Andrew Schneider, directed by John McPherson, co-starring Diana and
Waldauer.
Thank you, Sue. I knew I could get it.
Yeah, rar. This was a good one.
I knew instantly I wouldn't get it right. Yeah, as Helen Banner. Yes, John Marley as D.W. Banner. Regis J. Cordy, I think it is, as Dean Eckert, and Drew Snyder as Croft. Yeah. All right. And of course, starring the usual Bill Bixby as David Banner, Lou Ferrigno as the Incredible Hulk, and Jack Colvin as Jack McGee. Diana also starred as well as Sister Anita in the season 5 story called Sanctuary. And she played Mum, yeah. And even Bill Bixby dressed up as Mum, that was quite good.
Right, because David had to hide, right?
That's right, yeah.
So this one's really interesting, just to get started here. Anyway, David reads a news story about his sister and comes to the conclusion that he needs to go visit. And
just to pick you up, Sue, it wasn't he never read it. It was a news report. It was on the TV.
He read his sister's name on the TV, and he decides to go back to his hometown in Denver, Colorado. And Denver is not historically thought of as like super high tech, but this family that he came from was super high tech.
It's a rural community full of farming and farmland.
Yeah, the little town it was meant to be in was called Trevorton. Now, whether that's a fictitious name or a real one, Sue, you might be able to tell me if that's a real place.
It's not.
No, it's okay. It's fictional, yeah.
But it's a suburb. It's near Denver because I mean that's where he went through. And the idea is that he had never been home since his death, his supposed death. And so nobody knew that he was still alive. And this episode has some awesome, relational stuff and some really incredible, backstory. Quite right, too. So that's really the beginning of this, is like him going back to his hometown, and he sees his father flying his crop duster.
Oh. It's Thanksgiving also, so nobody wants to be alone when about the holidays. So
yeah.
But the interesting thing about this tale is you have his sister, who is a scientist in her own right, trying to develop some insecticides for the crop duster so that the farmland can produce produce, so that the billionaire tyrant doesn't buy out good old Papa for the land. So she's having problems. Along comes Big Brother, back from the dead. Can he help solve these problems, Sue? Did he?
Well, he's a fantastic scientist himself, and so is his sister, and so is actually, the billionaire or millionaire or whatever. He was.
Well, the scientist they hired was pretty good. He was just fucking everything for it,
Yeah, so it was kind of like a story from Doctor Who called The Green Death, because they were
minus the maggots and no condoms.
No, there were the maggots. Those larvae. Those larvae were totally maggots.
I retract that statement. Minus the giant maggots.
Right. They weren't giants, but they were totally maggots. Ooh. Anyway.
And beetles.
Yeah. and the Beatles.
Yeah, there was. I think they named them John Paul, Ringo, and George.
Very funny.
Boom, boom. I'm just surprised it didn't come rolling up in a yellow submarine. But there we go. What I found interesting about this tale was the whole backstory of David and Helen's childhood. You know, where their mother became terminally sick, and there was some waning resentment towards the old man after his mother passed away. Very good meat on the bone to the backstory of the Banner childhood.
You notice that the young Banner had a bit of a Beatles haircut going on, and in the 40s. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I have to say,
a bit of a trailblazer before his time. Yeah.
The flashback segment where the father was trying to persuade the teenage Banner to go to school, at a specific school, to carry on the family legacy. I don't know who voiced over that. You know, he saw the shadow silhouette. I don't know who voiced that over, but he was god awful.
It may have been kind of rough, but they needed to ramp up the tension between David and his dad, or Bruce.
No, I get it. The rebellious teen who had resentment towards the old man in light of his mother's passing. I get that.
But his dad was a rage monster too. You know, his dad had that anger issue, and that was what they were getting at. They were getting at, like, look, this family is totally used to this rage issue. Dad is a total tweaker rage monster, just like David was. David.
Just on that, you mentioned father and sister. I found it interesting that in both the Hulkouts in this episode, we have the big reveal.
That they were both, like, there watching him change, right?
And there's no amnesia, there's no bump on the head, there's no obscure vision. They now know, and now he's back on the run come the end of this. But we'll get to that later. The initial plan of, who was the millionaire's name?
His name is Dean Eckhart.
Eckhart, yeah.
Eckhart, yeah. His initial plan of, he seemed to be one step ahead of everybody. He even knew they were working on a formula in Helen's lab, which I found interesting. He had spies everywhere. Money can't buy everything, as the case is soon discovered. So, interesting take. The big business developer doesn't always outwit the good old country boy.
Yeah.
Little tidbit about Diana, by the way. There was talk, had the series gone on a bit longer and sort of come to an actual conclusion, they were going to bring Helen Banner back as a possible She-Hulk.
Yeah, because the She-Hulk in the comics was the cousin, right?
Yeah, but what was her name?
Yeah, but I think they were going to twist it to make it out to be, it's like instead of the cousin, it would be his sister in the series. And she was dying, I think, and the only next to kin was David to sort of save her. And I think that's something to do with the blood transfusion.
The same stick, the blood transfusion thing. Okay,
I think it was, yeah. And had that come about, that she would have been, like the next Hulk, if you like,
I smell a spin-off. Oh wait, we get cancelled. Yeah. Interesting concept, that. Yeah.
So Diana was known for Star Trek: The Next Generation. She played Dr. Pulaski, and she was in Batman the Animated, and she
was in
like Empty Nest, and
hang on. Who was she in Batman with Kevin Conroy in that?
She played Dr. Leslie Theopolis or something like that.
Don't recall that character. All right, okay. We'll probably know if I've seen her. Fair play to the actor who played the old man. I thought he did a stellar job in this.
Yeah, he was great.
He was quite well cast because he does actually look a bit like Bill.
Yeah. It's the side-on view of the hair that I noticed, and I'm like, whoa.
And he when he's cradling his face, his profile is actually like Lou's. Yeah, so there was so many amazing moments in this. I'd never even seen this one. I never even knew that this episode was.
Well,
was part of the canon, and it's
Don't use that disgusting C word, please. It's
So
not
sorry.
relevant.
Oh God, the C word's reared its ugly head again.
Yeah. Canon.
Please forgive me. Oh my
canon is
God.
something you fire a ball out of, okay?
Right,
well,
okay, sorry.
That notwithstanding, I concur with what you say, Sue, and I really did enjoy it. It's been years since I've saw this Homecoming. I'm thinking, what the hell is this? And then I thought, Thanksgiving, okay, he's definitely going home. And I'm going, oh, and I totally forgot the twist that the old man was actually his father. I assumed watching this back for the first 10, 15 minutes that she was like an ex-neighbour or an child friend, and the old man had something to do with his mother's death and all the rest of it. So the twist when it was revealed that it was the old man, I'm like, oh, shock horror. But there you go. That explained Homecoming.
Yeah.
Those flashback sequences were quite like beautifully shot. It was like sort of noirish kind of camera to it. You know, especially with the thunderstorm bit and stuff like that. It looked really cool.
And the sandstorm type.
Yeah. I thought those shots were quite good. That sort of it was kind of like dreamlike, you know, when they're running through the, you know, with the wind and everything blowing and stuff. I thought that was really good.
One of them was dreamlike when he was having the nightmare.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that the two girls, you know, she obviously was the older sister. When, you know, in the flashback, she's definitely older than the boy, than David. Not by much probably, but, you know.
A couple of years after that.
Yeah. And they always had this, it comes into it later on, that they always had this secret place they went to when they wanted to be together or whatever. Do you remember? She takes them to a little place, yeah.
We place just beyond the woods, yeah.
Yeah, and the woman who played the mother, Elizabeth, she's been acting, or she acted until like 2007. But this was her second acting job ever. No, her third acting job ever, and she just left a soap or something. So yeah,
she lost the soap.
She left a soap.
Oh, sorry. Okay, right.
A soap opera, One Life to Live.
Right. Okay.
So she was new at the game at this one, but she did really act her face off. It was
proved early on. She had a bit of range about her. I'll give that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we know what her illness was? I just remember her coughing a lot and have sort of feverish. I don't know what the actual
type of cancer. No, yeah, you've got.
It was definitely a terminal illness, but I don't know. I can't remember what it was. You know.
When all that coughing's involved, you're like, it's got to be some type of.
But young David definitely was blaming his dad for that. You know.
Yeah.
He really pissed with his dad. Yeah.
He'd rather go mend the fence. Yeah. You know.
And both David and Helen went into like science because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the old man was left to tend the farm with his helpers. So.
And he was always very angry with it, you know, and bitter, you know, with that obviously with that, you know, that tycoon guy. You know, they've got a rocky relationship, and so he's fed up with that. And then David comes in, and she tries to keep him hidden from the father, which eventually isn't successful. You know. That's after the first Hulk out. He discovers them, doesn't he? You know. So we get into the first Hulk out. You guys like to pick up on that one, please?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was part of it was the end result of his nightmare about his mother's passing. He bolted upright, the eyes went pale, and the sister's in the doorway going, "Holy shit, what's happened to my brother?" But yeah, and interesting how he didn't go ape right away. He somewhat listened to her when she was asking him questions until he picks up the picture of the old man. Stares at it, then the shit hits the fan. A few things get knocked over. The customary door gets booted in, and then chaos ensues upon the farm. Briefly.
And as he's running away, after he tipped over he pushed the hay off.
Oh, the hay.
Yeah, he pushed the hay off the car, off the trailer, and then he tipped the trailer over, and he was staring at his father, and he's like, "What? You know?
I'll show you, you old mofo." Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, you know, standing up to Dad, and you know,
look at me, I'm big and I'm green. Yeah.
But then instead of like going up and kicking his father's butt, he runs off.
Yeah, goes and hide behind his sister. What a wuss.
No,
Yeah.
not behind his sister. Behind those trees or behind that
Yeah,
mountain.
well, behind his sister as well in a way, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're off for quiet. You're going to contribute something here, or you have an issue with the background vocals?
Alex?
I assume he may have issues.
Yeah, so...
Hey guys, sorry about that. I had to travel and I'm using my cell phone and my Bluetooth. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit out of sync here. I did like the episode. I guess he showed backstory and his family sort of and all that. And of course, this was the episode that Mr. Rogers interviewed both Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, and they showed part of the scenes in the plane, and the Hulk was on the plane. I like both episodes, but I like the Mr. Rogers more. But it's just an interesting trivia.
Coincidentally, if the clowns know they're still talking, I'll have a burger and fries.
Sorry about that, guys. Please.
No problem.
I can only hear you for like a few seconds, and then stop.
Okay. I just lost my train of thought a wee bit there, Graham. What was the last thing we were saying? The Mr. Rogers thing.
Yeah, that was an interesting tidbit.
That was really good, actually. That when he went on set for the Hulk, and it's in 2 parts. You can see it on YouTube. It's only about like 10 minutes long each one.
No, you know what? That was a staple for a lot of kids in the States back in the day, man. And I'm really looking forward to the biopic with Tom Hanks later.
But it was interesting because when he was on set, he interviewed Bill and he interviewed Lou, and then it showed the process. Like it did like he went into the trailer to where Lou was having the Hulk makeup put on, so.
The behind the scenes, obviously,
yeah. They filmed it, the makeup process, but they did it in like a what do you call that thing? Time lapse. So
time what thing?
Sort of like that, an early sort of thing of that, like speed it up so you can see the makeup being applied really fast. Big hours to do, but it was just really fascinating how they did it, and how they put all the stuff on him and the prosthetics and everything, and painted him green, and then they spoke to him as he was dressed up as the Hulk and. Before and after, and then he was all cleaned up again to go home, saying goodbye to them, and the scene was from they were filming on the soundstage with the plane, that little plane that was in Homecoming,
the little red plane,
The scene with Lou standing up on the wing, and with with a big fan blowing and stuff like that.
Yeah, to simulate the wind movement. Yeah.
It was good. It was really good. Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you get back to the story, guys.
So what essentially the deal is after the first Hulk out, the reveal Papa and sister are now back in his life, and it's a case of, okay, we have a few days here to come up with an antidote to our insecticide problem to make the crops grow. Otherwise, it's bye-bye farm. They come up with something. Big billionaire tycoon, badass boss says, oh, no, we're not having that. I'm sending my thug round to try and sabotage your experiment. And Sue, did he succeed?
He did not totally.
Get
to
elaborate.
The formula that they had found was actually working, and when they tried to when they loaded it up in the canister on the plane, there was another guy there who was going to pre-release it so that it didn't go over the crops, and that other guy. Let me figure out who that was played by. That was played by Steve Burns.
Excellent.
Or, no, Drew Snyder. Sorry, played by Drew Snyder. Anyway, that other guy was riding front seat as Papa Banner was flying the plane in rear seat.
Holson.
Yeah,
Pilot's name is Holson.
So they were going to spray the field, kill the larvae, make them turn into beetles. So that was the thing that they discovered, was that they were going to cause the metamorphosis to adulthood for these larvae to the beetles.
Yep.
Right. I mean, like, that was the science that they were doing, and so they loaded it, and then
there's a caveat. Holson gets paid $4,000 to dust the crop field with this dodgy, non-working insecticide. And then there's a twist whereby, oh no, screw that, he's not getting his $4,000. Make it look like an accident, sabotage the plane.
Yeah, he's pre-drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a bit earlier on where Banner's David sleep? Didn't they find some kind of like antidote to all this, like to the crop, the spraying or something? They found like a bug or something that could. They found
the enzyme or the hormone to make them metamorphose into adulthood. So they were safe. The larvae could eat the hell out of a field, but the beetles just scurry around on the ground and don't actually eat anything anymore, apparently. So they found that, and that was the science.
Yeah, I was curious about, like, I want us to address that part because that was kind of important, because that was a big breakthrough they had, when they both worked together as scientists and brother and sister, obviously.
Yep, it was a Wonder Twins power activate type moment, except they were only twins.
And what was the bit, Graham, where David was sleeping in the lab or something? And the guy got in and tried to sabotage with like.
That was him trying to make it look like a chemical accident. They tried to burn down the lab but failed.
That's right.
Yeah. So they were just gonna either sabotage the plane or pre-drop. I thought that they said pre-drop, but
I thought they ended up doing both. But then they're gonna I may have got confused.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
they were gonna do something to the plane or something to the drop or whatever.
They were going to make sure he dropped it, and then they were basically going to make sure that nobody on the plane survived. So it was basically both.
Yeah.
So
then they went up, and they first saw David, and David was trying to talk to his father, and
there was that.
The guy got punched. And
no, hang on. Before that, there was that scene in the drive up in the truck where they're trying to come to some type of resolution and they end up having an argument. The old man walks off and then he goes underneath the plane, and that's where he discovers it's actually sabotaged. Then he gets knocked out, and now, Sue, we are where you
were
alluding to.
Right. So he's hit in the head. He's knocked on the ground. Yeah. And he doesn't Hulk out immediately. He just has to wake up normally.
And by this time, the plane's already, in motion.
Yeah.
And then, for some reason, Bill Bixby becomes one of the greatest track and field runners I ever bloody seen.
I know, right?
Considering he had a really bad knee. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could have qualified for the 1978 Olympics, for God's sake, if he ran like that. But sometimes you've got to suspend your disbelief, I guess. Considering never filming on a soundstage, why not?
Well, I mean, they weren't doing. He wasn't doing the running on the soundstage.
No.
It was really outside at that point. When he gets on the plane, when he gets on the plane, that's different.
Yeah, run, Bixby, run. Yeah, wrong movie. But
so give us the Hulk out, guys. Give us the Hulk out.
Well, let's hang on, Bill. This plane's going up.
And rawr, he gets angry because he's sort of.
He's hanging from a plane, for God's sake. Would you not be angry? Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary too. I mean, geez, you're hanging out from 500 feet above the ground, and oh my gosh.
Well, it's above the soundstage, but yeah, that's, I mean, yeah, I mean, the Hulk out happens, and old man's being what the stage is sitting there.
The Hulk puts his foot right down through the wing. It's like a cloth wing, and so he steps right down through it, onto the strut, and that's how he hangs on.
He's trying to give the plane some type of momentum, equilibrium, balance for when they.
I'm just curious. Guys. Is that actually scientifically possible that you could hold your own weight on a wing and still hold the wing?
Yeah, they do have wing walkers, but the point is he put his foot through the wing, so that would make it like a little less aerodynamic. So when they do all that acrobatic stuff, it's crazy. That doesn't make sense. But it's a superhero thing.
Yeah, I mean, regular human being probably know this guy. It serves as a plot device.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive that he can hold his own weight and the wing. At the same time.
Well, it's either that or let two people die. So.
Well, yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
This was the Mr. Rogers episode where we visited both Bill Bixby, David Banner, and Rick Floydno in makeup. And then they showed in the Mr. Rogers episode, the director yelling cues and moving the wing back and forth. Rick Floydno kind of has to balance on. At least it didn't look too bad on film. It actually looked
really good
on film. That's the other thing about the Incredible Hulk is that even though it wasn't the days of CGI and all that, I guess he was, 7-8 feet tall, 600 pounds or something. I don't know if that would bring down the plane if you were inside it or outside it. I don't know if the plane would be. I assume a plane could at least handle 500 pounds, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a pilot. Then again, I don't think they may not have elephants on planes too much. So maybe that's, I don't know if that's the same or not.
So he starts hulking out in front of his father. His father sees him. Yay.
And
so everybody in his family knows that he's alive and well and turns into a Hulk. So that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. And of course we have the obligatory end of the episode cameo. How much did Jack get paid for these, by the way? Because throughout the whole show's run, he must have accumulated to a total of what? Hey.
An hour.
A few hours.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from that two-parter he did, with Bill.
Yes.
That's probably the most screen time he had in any a long time, really.
And the plus side for old Jack, he's not going away empty-handed this time. He gets a Thanksgiving dinner. So...
But his family, didn't reveal any of this stuff. So his family got the secret as well as him.
Yeah, my brother's alive and he's green. Yeah.
And that last moment where the Hulk is hanging on and his father's there, cupping his face in his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, in that moment, you can see they did such a good job with the casting for his dad because it does look like Lou in profile. It was.
I am. As much as I agree with you with that scene, Sue, my first intention was, oh my God, I hope the wig doesn't fall off. But that's not how
Alex said the same thing.
That poor wig, yeah.
That
wig gets a lot of stick. Yeah.
It does, that. It was a byproduct of the time. We love it, really.
So that was pretty much it. And it was nice with the father sort of
accepting them. Yeah.
McGee busy while, the father quietly said goodbye to David,
Mm-hmm. And McGee got to chow down on some turkey. So, gobble, gobble. Happy Thanksgiving, folks.
Yeah, rawr.
What a homecoming.
It was cool to see the Banner family relating.
Yeah.
And I stand by my statement that his father's a rage monster, and he gets his greenness and everything from his father. Like all of that stuff is from Daddy.
Well, you know the old saying, folks. Big pharma, big hands.
Steady.
I said hands.
Oh, God, good, yeah. You know what they say about big hands, but that, I'll stop there.
Small feet. Anyway, continue.
Right, yeah. So I'll have to just quickly say to you guys, thank you all so much for being here.
Always a pleasure, mate.
And for giving us your lovely views and stuff on this episode. And I hope you all enjoyed it too. To the 2 listeners that we have, and hope you join us very soon on the Incredible Hulk podcast. Until then, I'd like to thank Sue, Alex, and Graham. Thank you so much, guys.
The pleasure, mate.
And we shall see you very soon. So in the meantime, please, whatever you do, for God's sake, don't Hulk out.
Brother.